Presented by the Data Break Network. This is New Eden.
Happy Sunday, everyone! Welcome to New Eden FM. We have the music and news to enhance your Sunday. I'm Elantri of the Galaxy, and we are live in-game in the Reisen system at the Creodron Factory. We're getting ready for the Battle Royale, so make sure you come out here where we are if you're entering today's competition. We'll be letting the participants know where the fight will occur shortly before we're ready for the battle after the state of the war here, because we don't want anybody wandering into our contest field. Now, here in the studio with me, I do have our producer, Meister Mackenzie. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm just kind of like, I guess I'm waiting for everything to pop off, right? Because that's what I understand that today is all about. Of course, there's other things in the show, but man, seriously, everyone is tuned in to watch this whole thing pop off. Even I don't even really fly
Oh,
anymore, and I'm still tuned in to check this whole thing out and watch it pop off.
oh yeah, I'm definitely excited to see who is going to win our Battle Royale today and face off against the winner of the competition between the Black Joker and Sheev. It's going to be really exciting. But before we get to that, we do have some wonderful news about what's going on in the game as far as on the developer side, because we of course had a lovely patch and some great Q&A. And then of course the state of the war. We'll be going for that too as well and give you all the lows and ins and outs of what is happening in that war. And then after that, we will be having our Battle Royale, and it is going to be truly epic. So get your butts out here to the Ryson system if you want to participate.
And of course, you can find the contest rules. I believe that those are posted in the announcement part of the Discord. So be sure to do that.
That's right. If you do not have that web stasis webifier and either a warp disruptor or a warp scrambler equipped on that battleship, you are breaking the rules and you will be disqualified. So make sure you have those equipped before you undock and head over here. So what music genre do we have to set the mood for today?
Dude, there's only one kind of music that you can play in a circumstance like that, and that is hard rock. That's it.
Oh, I was hoping you would say
I don't
that.
know what else to tell you. That's what I think of when I'm ready to get my fight mode on, and we're kicking things off on today with this.
Update on all things Eve Echoes and Eve Online. New Eden News.
Welcome back for New Eden News. All right, well, we did have a patch on Tuesday on the 23rd, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So let's take a look at that. They did do some balance adjustments on that, which is something I always like to see. They did do some changes to the unstable wormhole. Now, they did increase the collapse speed of the unstable wormholes, which will now collapse in about 3 days and randomly spawn again after a while. Now, there are also small unstable wormholes may now spawn in Cobalt Edge and low sec space of the empires. Only battleships and ships with lower tonnage may traverse through them. So at least when you're going through one of these small wormholes, you won't have to worry about coming face to face with a fleet of dreadnoughts. That's always a bad day.
Wait, people send fleets of dreadnoughts into wormholes?
You'd be surprised at things I've heard have been moving around through them wormholes. I've seen kills of capital ships in Cobalt Edge. Everything from a carrier to a Rorqual.
Rip.
Exactly. Now these wormholes, they are going to spawn in great numbers and take about a day to collapse. They're talking about these small ones. Now, due to their weak signal, they can only be discovered via scanning and cannot be directly checked on the star map. So if you want to find these small ones, you're going to break out your scanner and take a look at that. Now, they also did some changes to structure. They increased the maximum anchor amount of structures of the same type of all add-on structures from 5 to 9. So that's a nice little good change here. Now they made some balance adjustments to ships as well. Now all Navy issue frigates get +1 low slot and +8 power grid. So those things got a little bit of an upgrade there. The Rifter Fleet issue gets a +15 power grid, and its cannon damage bonus is increased from 30% to 35%. And the Kestrel Navy issue gets +10 power grid, and its missile damage is increased from 30 to 35%. Now, they do have a note on here about a preview. They will release several balancing updates in September to enhance our experience, and we'll receive a gift up to 10 million Lazarus units along with them. So they want us to plan our use of those units wisely. So sounds like we've got some changes that you're going to have to switch and swap out some things. You want to probably check with whoever's making the doctrine of your alliance before you go and make any swaps and changes, though. We also got the new Concord Pass Season 20. Now that just started Thursday, so if you haven't changed your missions there, go ahead and get that done, and go ahead and get that new season uploaded and everything. They did add the Exile Series nanocords are available in there. Additionally, you can get the special frigate Trailblazer nanocord supply box in the exchange store there now. Now, of course, they did optimize the market transactions, which they usually do, and they did do a few bug fixes as well. Now, we have a fix where the Navy issue frigates had no trait description, so a little polishing there. They finished the issue where the asteroid belt would not naturally despawn when it was low oil or reserve. Okay, they fixed an issue where it may be possible to see the local player list in Cobalt Edge. Well, that was a nifty little thing that I kind of hoped that was a feature, but apparently not. They fixed the issue where the manufacturing product of Capital Remote Armor Repair Rig blueprint was incorrect. So, more polish there. The improperly priced compiler supply and nanocore material box have been removed from the store. Capitaliers who have purchased them will be compensated. So if you had something disappear there, you may want to take a look around. They fixed some issues with the voyage ceremony. Now, due to the fact that some players were unable to participate in the event and redoing the event requires lengthy preparation time, they decided not to reopen the voyage ceremony on August 27th, which would have been tonight. They do apologize for any inconvenience and will provide compensation for all players soon, as well as refunding the sign-up fees for all participating corps. Now, if you checked your mail, you probably noticed a nice, big, fat little reward there with some skill points and some Lazarus units in there. So, if you haven't checked your mail, you may want to get that red dot to go away and get your goodies. Now, that brings us to the close of our patch there, but we also do have the Q&A.
So
Gotta love the Q&A.
Before you carry on, let me get this straight. They're going to refund the players that essentially missed out on being able to be a part of the parade because of, their technical problem, right? And
right, well, they're refunding the corpse entry fee, and then apparently everybody, whether or not you participated or not, got that wonderful little gift. So yeah, I guess it is what it is. The people who didn't get to go in, I don't think got direct compensation, but I'm not positive on that. If you know anybody who received something other than the standard award everybody gets, let us know. I'd be interested to hear about that.
that sounds kind of weird. Like, I mean, because I'm pretty confident that the people that were compensated probably got compensated AUR back instead of like just getting a refund on it. But okay. Anyway.
Yeah, well, of course, they're not going to refund the money. Once they've got the money, they got the money. They're just going to give you your AUR back.
It's still painful, though. Like, ouch.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a look at this Q&A here. This Q&A from the 15th to the 21st. So our first question here is, have you considered implementing an inventory search that searches all stations and ships' contents? I know I have a Gravedigger relic analyzer on some ship somewhere, but can't seem to find it. Well, that's a good question. I know I have problems finding things sometimes too. That's what their answer was. They say, thanks for the suggestion. We think it's a great idea and we'll add it to our list of improvements. However, we might need to check on the performance issues before implementing it because our asset list takes quite a while to load. And I have to say, that is no lie. I have things scattered all across New Eden on my main account, and it can take a minute whenever I go to bring up my asset list of all the different stations, everything in there. I can be sitting there for a good minute or two before that sucker will actually pop up. So their asset list does take a while to load, so it would be a nice thing to have, though, I tell you what.
I mean, to be fair, in your defense, with all the shit that you've got, I'm surprised that you could find an elephant in a peanut factory.
I know, right? That's why I've tried to consolidate things into a few places, like my main Jita hangar on my main, I think, has 117 billion in miscellaneous assets there. That's just the items thing, that's not the ships. So, yeah, but, some of it is overpriced bound stuff. Those little purple things are severely overpriced, and all that kind of stuff. So, it may sound impressive, but when you figure about half of it is probably just bound stuff, it's not quite as impressive.
That's the market system at work. It's all...
I know, right?
It's a feature, not a bug.
There you go. Alright, let's see what the next one is here. Question says, Heyo! Defending structures involved a lot of loss, especially if your alliance consists of players with differing time zones. Although we can grant other permissions for player-owned stations, it is impossible to use the control function for allies. Could some improvements be made here? It would be fun if the station owner could designate 2 other people capable of using the control features, so defense of the community would still be possible during downtime of the owner. Well, that's not a bad question. Let's see what they say. Say, hey there! We totally get how frustrating it can be to defend the community, especially if your alliance has members in different time zones. We appreciate your feedback and we'll discuss it internally. However, we need to be careful when making changes to the permission and reputation system to avoid any unintended consequences. We cannot promise any quick fix, but we'll do our best to try and find a solution. Well, no promises, they say, but
talking about passes, right?
Yeah. Whenever if you own the POS, where you click that little control button, and you're basically get taken out to an out view, and you're basically like the POS is your ship, and you have access to use it. It's all the things.
I mean, it works the same way in EO. It's just it's just that would be. It would actually be really helpful because even in EVE Online you can do that, but you can do it with like bigger structures, right? For example, if you have the permissions to do it, you can actually take control of a Keep Stars defenses, which is great, right? I would imagine that would be kind of complicated to code in a mobile game, though.
Well, I guess they could, I don't know. You would think there would be an easy fix for it, because, it's basically tying it to it. All they would have to do is create a little subset of ties or something like that. I don't know, it doesn't seem like it should be that difficult, but I don't know what kind of spaghetti code they are using to keep this game running, so...
It's Ragu.
Who knows? Ragu. I prefer Prego.
Too bad, you're getting Ragu.
Alright. I will get Ragu and I will like it. Alright. Let's see what the next question is. Say, in EVE Online, there is reputation with the faction, which affects certain gameplay mechanics. Will we get reputation added to EVE Echoes and benefits like it with lower NPC trade hub tax, etc.? That's a valid thing. Their reputation system is kind of fun. It gives you something else to work on and do and benefit to
I mean,
doing
it's a
those things.
grind,
So
though.
let's see what they say.
It is a grind.
It is. It is. See what they say here. They say, hey, thanks for your feedback. We totally get that it would be cool to have the faction reputation mechanic. But to introduce this, we need to design a system that involves PvE gameplay, reputation rules, and storyline content. The design of the faction reputation system is quite extensive, and we will not be making it for the time being due to the large amount of design content required.
Honestly, so hold on a moment. The excuse is that we don't want to make more PVE content.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Oh shit.
The even Second Galaxy, it's an Eve knockoff game. Second Galaxy has a reputation system with the 5 factions that are in that game. Where when you do missions, you get reputation, you get access to a reputation store. I mean, it's not that difficult.
Okay, so I get it. I get it. It's just not what I'm getting at. Do you realize that they literally just made a statement saying that it would require them to put in the work to actually produce quality PvE content to have a reputation system in the game? That's what they just said. It would require them to put in more work than they want to put a quality PvE system in the game that needs more PvE content.
I know, and you would think they would want to do that because more content means more people playing, but
I'm flabbergasted by how they literally just came out and said that they don't want to invest the resources and the time that it would require to put in quality PvE content to associate a reputation system. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Well, they have ceremonies to mess up and stuff like that. So, they kind of.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna sit in
I know. All right. Let's see what the next one is. They say, hello, developers. I'm a PvP-oriented player and a fleet commander in one of the largest alliances of the New Eden.
Hi,
and I want to ask you... I know, right? And I want to ask you a question about one of those E-War ships, Arbiter E-War, Bellicose E-War, etc. They spawn in anomalies and their stats can be seen through skins in market. When do they come out? Because they have interesting attributes, long-range webs for belly, long-range neutralizers for RB. They can be used for fleet battles, and they can also make small-scale PvP more diverse and deeper. Thank you for answering our question. Okay, see what they say. Our team is currently working on developing E-War modules for pilots, but as more new ships of different tonnages are released, special ships such as E-War ships will also be released sequentially. Hope that helps, and we look forward to seeing you in New Eden flying our new ship.
To be honest, it sounds refreshing just to listen to them talk about the concept of having more ships with varying tonnages. I mean, last year was pretty rough when it came to like the release of content, because all you had was just anything that was either battleship class or higher. And that was a huge complaint from most of the community, that even when they were saying like we're going to release some small ship content, I think the smallest ship in that set when they did that were like cruisers, right? So to listen to them talk about they want to have stuff of varying tonnage is kind of nice, right? And it's also nice that those ships that were put in the game, they've been in there since beta. I can tell you from like I joined in like beta phase 2, and those ships were in there during the beta, and they've just been sitting there for the longest time. I mean, you're going on what, 4 years now? 4 years. They should be celebrating soon of Eve Echoes, or is it 3? I don't know.
We just had the third anniversary.
Okay,
it was
so
just
the third?
just a reason.
Okay. See how everything just starts to like meld together when you've been around for so long. Anyway, So
Mhm.
I think at this point it's great that that's a part of the conversation because it's been one of the biggest excuses that people have had in the game. One of the biggest gripes they've had in the game. They wanted more ships, varying tonnage. They got tired of having of having just battleships, like battleship content. And as someone who loves flying battleships in Eve Online and Eve Echoes, I thought that it was pretty rough that all the content was coming out for like battleship pilots. So I mean, for those of you
Yeah.
guys that are adamantly playing the game, supporting the game, here's to you finally maybe getting some of those frigates that you've wanted for like the past year and a half, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long time coming. It really has. Now, of course, we mentioned the voyage ceremony. The actual broadcast of that, because the one that they did uh, last week actually got recorded, and they are going to be broadcasting that on the live stream at 6 p.m. UTC on the 31st. So at 1800 UTC on the 31st of August, you'll be able to tune in for that live stream. I assume they'll have some sort of commentary and things like that. I just really hope that they have the people with a map of what ships are which, so that a Tempest doesn't get called an Aglifar or something weird. I believe that actually happened last year.
Oh, I mean, why not?
But that's
That was kind of disappointing, but yeah.
it was. I think they really should get some sort of content creators who actually play the game to do their anniversary special. Like, have Benzie narrated, have Sheev narrated, have Rambo narrated.
I mean,
Somebody
it would have been
who
great.
does
It would have
does
been
content
great,
for the community.
And I
You
think
know?
that like not only that, but I also believe that people want to see their or want to listen to their content creators. It's kind of like there's kind of this rule of thumb that we have in radio where if there's like some kind of disaster, like a natural disaster or something really big is going on, and you have to make an emergency announcement, usually radio stations will try to find one of their hosts that normally host on that station, and it's because in a time of crisis, people want to hear a familiar voice talk to them about what is going on. And it's the same thing, right? I mean, like in the Chinese community, I'm pretty sure that they do have some content creators who do this kind of thing. And even if they don't, it's like it makes more sense when they do these type of things that in mainland China, they would want to hear someone, that's like that they can relate to. But in the Western states or in the Western countries, they would, you'd do better off if we had people who are more relatable, and that would be your entire panel of content creators, which, by the way, they've gotten in channel
New Eden News segment. We'll be back with the state of war, but what do we have to get us into a mood to hear about all the juicy details of what's happening out there with people shooting each other?
Your music, your voice, and your weekly update on all things Eve. This is your Eve Echoes State of the War report.
Welcome back for State of the War, brought to you by Echoes.mobi Killmail Bot, the best Killmail bot in all of New Eden. Alright, so maybe asking yourself, what spiciness has been happening this week? Well, the East has just been on fire. If you happen to look at the map, you'll notice a few entities from the north seem to have sprouted up in space over there by around OG and Void, so things are definitely getting hot. Citadels have been lost, citadels have been taken, and really that's actually on both sides, because if you look at your map again, you'll notice a little bit of a problem there. SHH actually lost a citadel up in the north, and actually had one in Tosis and taken that they'll be trying to take back on Tuesday. So both sides are making a little bit movement there on the the soft front, but I do have to say that the Razzle Dazzle side does seem to be making more of an impact in the eastern homeland. So definitely some excitement going on there.
No one's surprised by this.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. Actually, as you probably would expect. Silent definitely does outnumber in their prime the forces that the East have been able to muster, but the East has had some successful defenses, and AOA has started to pitch in there a little bit as well. So there was even one point where both sides had supers down on grid. So really getting spicy there.
I mean, at least they're not letting them sit in a bunker and rock, because that's just such a terrible thing. And you know, like, I don't blame the sides for being very, very, I guess, conservative when it comes to when you want to drop capitals and everything. But one of the most exciting things that happens in EVE Online is when you get a chance to like witness a capital drop during a huge fight. And I think that because of the egregious expenses in EVE Echoes, you don't see it as much as you'd like to. But I mean, leave it to SHH to kind of break the mold a little bit on that one. And if anyone's gonna do that and be a trendsetter, it would be pay to win. So
yeah, that Mr. Burger there with his shiny super cap there, that is a thing to be reckoned with. I've watched the footage of that thing. It is terrifying if you're not in a capital ship, and even if you're in a capital ship, it's pretty dang scary. That thing hits hard.
Super carrier?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
the super carrier.
Super carriers are designed for fighting other capital ships, just so you know. I mean, that's what their
But
function always has been.
yeah, of course, they absolutely shred to little bitty tiny little pieces, like one pop in almost some of the battleships. So yeah, I watched the footage of battleships were just popping like little balloons.
I mean, it's kind of the same if you get off a good dreadnought volley, that those things just melt. And it was one of the most fun experiences that I've had in EVE when we got to drop capital ships on someone, and it was literally a turkey shoot. You just target something and you fire your first volley, and it drops down to half of its total armor. And then you drop another one, and if it's lucky, it might have a little bit of hull left. And that's at the time that we had some of these fights. I was like 5-4 in cannons, and it was still an absolute turkey shoot. So I would imagine with a good super carrier that it would probably be a whole lot of fun to get in there and to do that. And I mean, super carriers, they're probably, I mean, obviously dreadnoughts are going to be able to put up at least some resistance. It may not be a ton of resistance, but they'll be able to put up some resistance. But I mean, super carriers are designed for fighting dreadnoughts, and those heavy fighters are extraordinarily good at tearing up heavy ships. And until you start to see Titans on the field, it's just, it's just going to be an evil that you have to deal with, or an evil that the people that are fighting have to deal with. And as long as this person is committed to dropping it, not minding, okay, well, if anything happens, I'll just deal with it. I don't care. You need a pilot like that. Every group needs a pilot like that, where
yeah,
if it blows up, it blows up.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got that pilot, but now they also have a beachhead that is capable of supporting super carriers, or they can actually dock super carriers now in that area. So, that you got to wonder if whenever they couldn't dock it anywhere other than an ITC in the area or something like that. So it's basically deployed constantly. They were willing to do that with just one. Now that they have a beachhead, what are they going to be willing to do? It's going to be an exciting time over there in the east, I tell you what.
It's just war. I think that the one thing that makes at least video gaming wars, not real life ones, so exciting is the unpredictability. And we had so many moments of unpredictability. At least I had plenty of them when I was playing the game. It's what actually made me want to wake up at 5 a.m. if I had to get that moment of unpredictability. I think that with the ships, finally getting to a point where there are more and more people into capital ships, which I think is great because,
Uh-huh.
we remember when the days of carriers and dreadnoughts, and even a lot of the of that big ass server war that just happened. There were so many days where there was it was just a cold war, a standoff, because we have our capitals here and Silent has their capitals there, and everyone, and you can't blame the FCs for being the way that they were with that. You want to find the opportunity to drop your capitals in the best possible circumstance. You want to have an edge when you're committing that much ISK and you're putting it on the field. And the big problem was, like, who's going to get the edge, because there was always someone who got there and was there like an hour to 2 hours ahead of time and planned early. And then there was always someone who didn't want to commit because the enemy had the upper hand. So maybe now people are a little more comfortable with it, which is great. Because, like I said, capital ships are kind of expensive in Eve Echo, so happy for you guys.
Yep. Yeah, but it's just like in combat in situations in the real world here. Whenever you have the high ground, you have the advantage. And I guess in this game, the equivalent would be if you're holding good position on the other side of a gate that they have to come in to engage, you've got the high ground. And so, yeah, it's difficult to get through that kind of setup, just jumping into the gate in random places and hoping for the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, unless you've got no belief, in which case you should just go ahead and do it anyway, right? I mean, we had a few times. Yeah, we had a few times we just jumped into the gate, didn't give a damn. And, we're gonna take this fight anyway, guys. Okay, let's jump into the gate, and it was fun. But when you have objectives and it's like it's a pivotal moment in a conflict, and you probably won't jump that gate. And it's just the way that it is. You want to win, and if you are talking about defending citadels or something, I mean, you want to win, and that's just the bottom line. So,
yeah. And of course, there's still been all the excitement still up there in Cobalt Edge. That area is still pretty hot. There's still just that one place to establish yourself for everybody. So it's a pretty hot zone up there too. But as far as the war goes, both sides definitely are not letting that area completely distract them from their wartime goals.
And I think that it's more or less Silent. I think that's doing the better job of that when you think about it. Really, well, how much is AOA really getting involved in the conflicts that are happening elsewhere? Because they don't have the greatest relationship with Void and OG. Last time I checked, they don't.
Yeah, not necessarily the best, but they have pitched in on some timers that I guess were conveniently timed for their time zones. So
well, that's good.
That was just enough to push over the edge. So the East has had some victories, but they've had some losses too. Most of the losses have been on the OG side, but Void's had a few here and there, and of course, Silence had a great number of victories in the East. They are pretty much dominating as far as the structural warfare tally field on this part of the war. They've only had a few problems up there in the north with their citadels, but they have had some. So there has been some pushback. from Pact. So we'll see where that goes this next week. Both sides have timers coming up that are going to be important. So this next week should be very telling for what the state of the war is going to be in the coming week. But whenever we come back, we're going to have to do the Battle Royale. So if you are wanting to participate in that, uh, we do need you to go ahead and make sure you're going over to the Reisen system and get over here so that we can get you set up. Because while we're on our next break here, we're going to be talking with the participants and letting them know where we're going to be doing the actual battle itself. Because, like we said, we don't want anybody coming in and trying to tilt the balance or interfere or anything like that. So that's what's going to be coming up here. But what do we have to get us ready for the move to the Battle Royale?
Hi, in the mix.
All
This is
right. Welcome back for our Battle Royale. We are getting the contestants ready to jump into the system here. We just have one more contestant here to get on the grid here.
There you go.
All right. There we go.
Fleet jump.
All right, and we are getting ready to warp the contestants to the battle site. As soon as everybody is populated into the system here.
And I'm arriving in.
All right. Here we go, guys.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
We have one contestant on grid. We seem to have lost our other contestant.
Okay, let's see. Knight hammers already.
Located here.
Yeah, where did Black Widow go? We lost our other contestant.
Okay, there.
There we go. All right. Both contestants are on grid.
They're already starting? Yeah, they're starting.
Yep, they are starting. I see weapons fire.
Let's
We have
see.
an apocalypse. We have an Apocalypse Navy issue fighting a Macarial. Alright, so far it looks like the material is in armor, while the APOC Navy issue is still got a good bit of his shields there.
Hmm.
But it does look like the material is armor chain.
All right, all right.
Material's starting to make some progress on those APOC shields, but seems to be having a losing battle on the armor front there.
Hmm.
Ooh, the APOC Navy issues shields are almost gone. Alright, they are gone now. Terriel
Okay.
still has some armor there, still holding on.
Hey, it looks awesome. I got a good view, sure.
Starting to eat through that APOC's armor. I'm starting to see some structure damage there on the Macarial.
Yeah.
Still fighting the fight. Oh, yeah, there goes a chunk of his structure.
Oh, wow.
Still trying to eat through the armor on that APOC. Oh, almost gone for the... Oh, then the Macarial
Ooh.
crashes and burns.
Wow.
That hammer is down. Black Widowess is our winner.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Black Widow.
That was definitely a fight.
Definitely, definitely, it was a good one.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a short break here, and we'll come back for a Eve Talk segment here. Welcome back to Eve Talk. We just have a little short Eve Talk session today, but do want to congratulate Black Widow on that win, and we have picked up Nighthammer's goodies and sent it back to him, so he's going to at least get that back, and that was a very good fight. Now, of course, there's a lot going on in the game right now, and I think we are all well aware of the fact that our community is shrinking. So I just wanted to take this short little segment to remind everybody that no matter which side you're fighting on in this game, try to be good to each other, because we don't need to be having people leave the game because somebody was mean to them or something like that. We need to be good to each other. And remember, we're all gamers here playing in this game, holding on. So let's just try and keep our community going, regardless of which side of the community you're on. Okay. Uh, Also, if you're interested in helping out on the show here, we do have some openings available. So if that does interest you, go ahead and reach out to myself or somebody on staff, and we'll talk to you and see where we can fit you in and how you can help and have fun while doing it. We also want to remind you to make sure you check out the other content creators. We do have Rambo's show coming up tonight. You will definitely want to check that out. I know I'm gonna try and make it if I can. And of course, there's Sheeb. He puts out great content, and I know that he'll be having more to say about what's coming up with the battle with Black Joker and himself. Where you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to get the details of that, probably from him first. So we'll bring it to you too, but you'll probably find out there first. So make sure you keep track of things there, and just try to be good to each other. And that's That's about it. That's going to bring us our broadcast to a close today. So just really be good to each other, even when you're shooting each other.
Yes, indeed. That sounds great.
Works for me. All right, guys. Love, hugs, and kisses. And yeah, have fun on this one. By the way, I think that there's supposed to be a fight between you, Joker, and Sheeved, and the winner of that fight. I mean, there's going to be another fight. Um, are you guys going to be making an announcement about that at a later date so we know when to tune in for the finals? Because that should
Oh,
be pretty good.
yeah. We're gonna me and Ashiva's battle. We set the battle on October 13th. Now that we have Black Widows that won the contestants, so he'll be going against the winner of our match for to be the new Eden FM champion. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's gonna go. And it's gonna be stay tuned for details.
Awesome, good stuff. All right. Well then, you guys have an excellent Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever's left of it, and enjoy this track from I Prevail. This is called Judgment Day. Turn it up. Check it out.